parsnip has naturalized in this garden. A couple months ago it had beautiful yellow flowers, and there were dozens of them all over this area. It actually seems to enjoy growing at the edges of paths and at the edges of the road. And because it has a big old taproot on it, it's breaking up the clay and improving the quality of the soil. So I'm gonna take this over here by the edge of the road. So I'm gonna put it over here. I think it'll grow under a walnut tree. A lot of things won't, but just give them a little squeeze and you get a handful.
Well, as a farmer, I think, that connection to land and to food and to health are very linked, and I think that seeds are an integral part of that. Everything that we eat comes from a seed. Yeah, it provides some safety and some peace of mind to know that we have the ability to access those things without relying on big business or whoever to provide our food or the ability to grow food. So I think that seed saving is a very integral part of community food resiliency.
Well, my history of seeds goes way back to when I was about 11 or 12, living in the suburbs of Montreal, and I had it in my blood and bones to dig up our back lawn and try and grow some stuff. But then when I came to Salt Spring, I started gardening, and my gardens got bigger and bigger, and then I realized that I had some special things that other people didn't have, and I started Salt Spring Seeds in 1986.
The local farmers markets have caught on. Like, people go to local farmers markets and buy local food, but there is still like a bit of a gap for people to buy local seed. So we're really trying to raise awareness and get people excited about local seeds for all of the benefits they offer, all of the specific regional benefits, but also just to get people thinking about it. It's awesome that so many people are planting gardens, but a lot of people just pick their seeds up at the hardware store. And it's just like, take that one more step and think about, where did that seed come from? Can I support my local growers by doing that? That's what we want it. That's what we want people to do.
Had always thought that when I start doing this, I want to begin seed saving. And I think that experience of seeing the plant go from seed to food crop to going to seed to having seed in the hand to then planting that seed again is like, in each step of the way, it's interesting. When you're so used to seeing vegetables, like the romaine lettuce, and you're used to seeing it be a romaine lettuce, and then to see it like be this huge tower with these florets coming out of its neck, it's just like, whoa!
These are some carrot seeds just harvested, and they'll be dry enough to put away. Marigold seeds. There you go. There you see all the seeds in one little head. Lifespan of seeds is pretty amazing because most seeds last easily for 4, 5, 6 years, and many seeds last for 10, 12 years. There's only a couple that don't. Onion seeds and leek seeds are notoriously viable for only a year or two. This is ashwagandha, a famous Indian herb for stamina and vigor. Very, very well known in India, but catching on in North America. A seed sanctuary is basically a seed bank or a seed library or a place where all the seeds are located. And in what we're talking about, it's a community maintaining their own diverse seed resources.
Seed Sanctuary is a partnership with the Salt Spring Seed Sanctuary Society. It so far is a temperature-regulated room where we can store seeds. We're looking to expand to get some of the seed-saving equipment so that we can help locals process their own seeds. But it's basically a place where we can save and have a stash of locally produced seeds that will be climatized to our weather and hopefully provide us some resiliency in the face of climate change.
Well, I started the Seed Sanctuary in the year 2003. It started off being a network of seed growers and seed savers right across the country. Part of the deal was to get feedback on how things grew. We have a bunch of people here who are members, and they grow out the seeds, and they can get the seeds from our communal bank. And we've evolved to having a main growing place now at Ruckle Park, where we're growing out a whole bunch of things, and mostly what's coming out of there is going into the public school, the Salt Spring Elementary School, to add to the kids' lunches. They have their own gardens. Every school on Salt Spring now has a really good garden, but they're not growing the more substantial crops like beans, and so Sanctuary is growing the beans for them.
So these are some pretty mighty arugula plants. A lot of times I'll save seed in a paper bag, but these are so big that I've chosen a container to put them in. I'm just going to cut the whole plant and put the whole bunch of little seeds. They're in these pods, same family as kale. So those little pods will dry out and then pop open, and the seeds will just fall into the bottom of this container.
Well, I think through the seed bank, it's an incredible way that as a community that we can see it not just as individual gardens, but as like regional gardens, and that everything about this island in all its complexity of diversity, of landscapes, depending where your home garden is, you're contributing by actually saving a seed that many other gardeners on the island are saving. And so that's going to strengthen the viability and also the climatic adaptations that the seed will have based on where their garden is and the different conditions that they're working with. So I think we're be able to create a larger strength of seed if there's a lot more people growing it in this area.
This year, Kaylee and I decided to only buy seeds from our bioregion. That felt like a great choice for many reasons, specifically for getting seed that is used to living in these climates. It has to be that a seed that has spent multiple years of its life living on the Pacific coast is going to think more about how to live here than something that was grown in Quebec. You have to really save for things that have happened. So in this case, we had a very hot summer this year. Like, you have to save the plant that did better. And if I don't flag that plant and save that plant, and I just save the whole row, then like I'm kind of just blending it all together. That to me is like where I draw a line between a seed grower, like, or a seed saver, like Kaylee and I most often are, and a seed breeder. A breeder is, in my definition, someone who is out there flagging that plant that did better than others. The seed breeder is putting plants through a different and saying this one got less, this whole row got less water, which one did well.
Crop varieties adapt to where they're grown over years, and they get better and better, especially if people are saving their own seed and making wise selections based on productivity and earliness and health and stuff like that. So
really being interested and curious about seeds, I think, is the first step, and really curious and interested about where your food comes from to begin with, and asking questions about where are the origins, and if you don't know where farm it is, that's a good start. You know, finding out where the farm is and then asking, like, where are your seeds coming from, and like, what is the biggest you know, what are the things that do really well in this region, and what are the, and just, I think just getting curious is a good place to start.